Alright, we are live. It is Thursday, and we are starting a new needle felting project today. Hope everyone had a good one, and that your week is going by as painlessly as possible. We are going to be working out our next project here. I had to pull out the proper sized felt, or at least the biggest sized felt that I had for this. Because we can't be messing around here. We need the proper one, because this size is gonna be, oh, it's gonna be tight. Now, on the last one that we did this size, we were pretty good on the edges. It was the top and bottom that I didn't quite give myself enough room. I'd rather have a little more filled in than not enough. So, we're gonna try to fix that. This will be the glued on side, so I don't care about that little bit of pen there. So in theory, that seems fairly straight. Like, I don't want to be crooked here. Being crooked will not do us any favors. So I'm going to trace out these sides, and then I'm going to give it a little extra to work with. And I'm okay at this point. I'd rather trim it and lose a little extra off the edges than hope it's not going to shrink in and then have a bigger problem of, oh no, it's not going to fit. Like, I had a couple spots where the backing was visible on the last one. Sorry, it was flowing so well, I was worried it was starting to leak there for a second. Like, what is this magic? Okay, so I'm going to sit that to the side. So this is what we're going to mount this onto when we're all done. So this is going to be the basis for our framing. Just like how we did the magnets. Now I am going to actually kind of give us just a little bit extra. So like I said, I'd rather have a little bit more. Whoop. Stop that. I'd rather have a little bit more at this point than not quite enough. So I'm gonna just use this piece to give me a little bit of a buffer zone. Or at least that's the plan, right? So it didn't have to be very precise for that. Now, doing it in this direction takes up like the entirety that I'm able to zoom out. I can zoom out further, but there's a shelf right here that all of my stuff sits on, my monitors and everything. So even if I did zoom out, all you would see is the base of the monitors and all the crap I have sitting up there. So it's not going to really enhance the viewing down here, so sorry. I will try to keep as much in frame as I possibly can. But that is my max zoom right now with this particular desk. I have some tape. I had tried this tape because it wasn't too expensive. I'm not a huge fan of this tape. It's drafting tape. I would have been better off with regular masking tape. Even the blue painter's tape worked a little bit better than this stuff. Like, I don't like this stuff really for very much at all. It's what I have the most of, so I'm using it, but I really need to get some more masking tape. The masking tape that I've enjoyed the most, oddly enough, was from Dollar General. I didn't remember seeing any the last time I was in there. But our Dollar General has moved all kinds of stuff around, so the tape doesn't mean much here. It's more visual than anything for me. It's not going to stop anything from happening. It's not going to stop the edges from shrinking in at all. The only time I had the most success without it pulling in from the sides was the thicker craft felt. The bougier stuff. It's probably like 2 or 3 times the thickness of this. But I don't have any more of that. I had gotten 1 sheet of it as an experiment, and I just haven't gotten any more of it because I've been doing more embroidery than needle felting right now. My husband feels that the embroidery suits my style a bit more, but you know, I have supplies, so we're going to use them. And we did order stuff for Christmas kits. So when we're done this project, I might slowly start working on that stuff because I've got a lot to do. And we'll just wrap them and put them to the side for when we need them. Alright, so these wooden pieces, we're gonna sit them to the side for right now. I'm gonna put my pen away and I wasn't done with it. Alright. Good, good. Okay, so plan is to do a flamingo guy here. So I'm gonna have him standing up. So we gotta figure out where we want like the top of the head to be. Like height-wise first. I've done nothing to prepare for this. Haven't figured out anything at all. So we're doing it together. Top of the head. Maybe in here. Top of the body. Maybe in here. Okay, and let's see if that's top of body. Maybe bottom of body in here. All right. let's start with that. Alright, okay. So. Not too worried about messing up too badly with the pen, because we're not gonna really see the pen all that much when we are all said and done. It's definitely a little nerve-wracking though. That feels a little thick there. Okay, so it's gonna be a little tricky getting all of the bits of this guy in here. With the left. It's not gonna look quite the same. Okay, so this guy. Alright, so let's see here. The leggies don't need to be quite so leggy, but definitely need a little something something in there. Alright, so Like I said, it might morph a little bit as we go along. So perhaps water there. And then like right here. Do some grassy bits, right? We can have catty tail thingies and just some grassy bits up into here. You know, all that. Lost my pen cap. So up here. Just a few like cloudy bits in here. Yeah, that's probably good enough. I don't ever really have to do a background. I could just do like solid color, but so I put my tape to the side so I can find it later. Put the square back where I can find that again later. Alright, so I think we're gonna start off working on our sky. We have to figure out what color sky we want though. That's a good question. Let's experiment. Probably gonna hate it, but we're gonna experiment. Because why not? Right? Alright, so finger protectors on. Oh, they're stiff after you haven't used them in a little bit. I'm going to engage the stabby thing. So I am actually going to work on this sideways just to make it easier for me. So I know I drew in those clouds, but we're going to end up covering them, and then I'll just come back in with the clouds later. I was just kind of trying to get an idea of placement of things and how it was going to look. So I'm going to start out with this cornflower blue. And this was from Big Twist. Oh, I didn't get my water. That's what I forgot. To grab when I was getting ready. Been so long since since we've done a needle felt. Well, it hasn't been that long, but it's been long enough. Creaky keyboard tray, sorry for that. Alright, so I'm gonna grab just a teeny bit of water, shake off the excess back into my little water holdy container. And we are gonna just kind of roll up that. And I'm going to take our fluff just over that pen line and kind of work in between this one and that one. The tape is more so there as like a reminder not to go past that point for me. And in case I lose any of my outer edge pen guidelines, which, you know, you can lose as you get layers of fluff added in. They either get buried under the fluff or just from use if a project takes a couple weeks or it gets kind of rubbed off or just kind of slowly wears away. Just more of a guardrail, if you will, so I don't get too carried away and lose track of where I'm at. So we are just gonna start to stab on into our craft fluff here. I am using acrylic yarn. Traditionally, wool roving gets used for this, but if you have a wool allergy or it's hard to get a hold of roving where you're at, you can make the acrylic yarn work for this. It will take a little bit more of prep time for it. So that is one downside to going with the acrylic yarn, but it's a small downside. Just because of the huge color selection that you'll have at your fingertips. For me, that more than outweighs the prep time, along with the money savings for me. For amount spent, I feel like I get way more yarn to roving ratio. Again, that's just me and how I feel about it. But maybe roving is more easily obtained where you are. And if that's the case and you've got the colors available to you for what you want to do, then go for it. That's fine. I don't care. Not gonna bother me none if you decide to go with the more traditional. material, because look, I get it. The prep time will be a little bit involved depending on how many colors you've got going in your project. Because it involves cutting out lengths of yarn, not huge lengths, just, you know, lengths, I would say maybe 5 inches. I wouldn't go longer than 6, personally, but that's a you decision. Because the longer your strands of yarn get, the tougher it is to keep them from knotting. And personally, I like doing the smaller strands because then I get through it faster, and then I can move on to the next bunch of yarn to prep, and it feels like I'm making progress. But you cut your lengths of yarn, you gather them all up, and you slowly start brushing them out, either on top of a self-healing cutting mat or a piece of cardboard. It is very scritchy if you do it on top of cardboard, though. If your ears don't like the noises, maybe get some noise canceling earbuds. Don't do it on top of your legs with jeans under it. It will shred the jeans. I tried doing it with one of these on my thumb to protect my thumb when I was holding it and doing it, and I almost shredded one of these. So, you know, just be careful. Because you're using a brush. You're using one of these. I think it's a sticker brush to brush out your yarn. And these are little spiky metal teeth. And when you go this way, they don't really hurt. But, like, just touching it, like, you can tell that they're a little spiky, but they're not necessarily sharp. But when you start, like, applying pressure, it starts digging in. And you can cut yourself on that. I've cut myself on it. Unless my skin is just shitty. But, you know, might be. Might be. My hands are not in the greatest shape. So that wasn't quite to the color that I was desiring. Like, I felt like I could see some of the craft felt through that. So if you feel like you can see whatever base you are using shining through your fluff, the solution is to add more fluff. That's really the solution. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it is the simple solution. Just keep adding until you're happy with it. That's really all there is to it. Okay, and because I'm working with such a large swath here, I am going to pull up off of my mat probably a bit more often than I would if I was working with a smaller piece. Well, smaller piece, I'd be able to finish stabbing that smaller piece in and then lift up, but since these are a little bit bigger pieces that I'm working with at the moment, I'm gonna probably do that a little bit more periodically as I go. Just to make sure it doesn't get too attached to our mat here. Because it can happen. You do want to pick it up. at the very least every couple of minutes. It doesn't have to be like every 2 minutes on the dot, but you definitely want to be prying it off gently more often than not, because it can get a little too fond of your matte surface depending on the type of matte surface you're using. It might not matter as much if you're using foam, but I don't know, because I don't like to use the foam because it hurts my ears. But with this type of mat, I'm using a wool felting mat. Definitely on the recommended list of things to do is picking that up, because I have had it get a little too attached to this type of mat and a felt mat a couple of times where when I first started, I didn't know I was supposed to pull up off the mat every little bit, and I pretty much had felted my thing to the mat, and I slightly damaged my mat trying to get off of it, and warped my piece a little bit as well. So that was a little disheartening, to say the least, but it's alright, we know better now. I am just kind of making sure that this is pretty well and attached here. Sorry, I had a piece of hair touching me. It was blowing in the fan, and I was like, what is this? Looked like it was cat hair. Which, you know, I wouldn't be all that surprised, because Bean was up here before we got started getting some cuddles and kept trying to eat my lighter. It's sort of shaped similar to the laser pointer that we have for him, and I don't know if that's what he thought it was, and I'm like, no, no. That is the forbidden stick. We do not chew on that. So I'm gonna just kind of shake off the extra. And I'm just gonna shape it a little bit. Doesn't have to get too crazy shaped here. Now this guy will probably end up taking us a little bit, because I'm going to end up fussing it to get it to how I like it. I am not on a super rushy timeline with this one. When we get through it, we get through it. And we'll deal with things as they come. But I figured, why not? We might as well, right? Okay. So we ordered a Christmas chicken one for my mom. Embroidery kit. We ordered a cardinal kit for his aunt, and some butterfly kits for his mom. Plans are going to be changing for what I'm doing for my brother, so maybe it's a good thing that that book didn't show up after all. I guess things have a way of working out in the end. Quite possibly. Alright. So we're just gonna keep on trucking here. Or at least that's what we planned at the moment. Oh, and then the husband is getting something. He's probably getting his pigeon. And I have to freehand that. I'm on the hunt for a decent sailfish photo. I might have to try to draw one with one of the images I came up with. Let's see. I'm not in the right headspace to deal with that at the moment. I've got time to deal with that though. That is more than fine. I've got more time to worry about that. Okay. I didn't get any work done on the background of the other embroidery that we were working on last night, though. Just didn't have time to today. And by the time I sat down, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to deal with this. It was like 2:30, and I was like, oh, I'm right. It's really only gonna give me an hour. And super tired today. I'm kind of fighting a headache even right now. So I just wasn't really feeling like working on it today. But it's okay. Tomorrow's another day. We'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. And what, if anything, I need to deal with. House-wise, I know we have to get the guinea pig cage clean. That might be either tomorrow or Saturday. Really depends on what tomorrow brings. I'm not sure what all that is gonna bring. So, just a minute, you guys. Sorry about that. Alright, so we are just working on our sky here. Like I said, I'm gonna cover up these cloud shapes and put them back in after I get the sky to where I want it. And just kind of gently pop that guy up. Our neighbor had messaged us asking us to feed the outside cat this morning. I remembered about 10:30 we took care of it, but when we went to go do so, there was food already out there, but it looked like it had been there for a while, so husband wasn't sure if it was like leftover from last night or what. So we put fresh food out, and then she messaged us later in the day. She's like, "Oh, I've got somebody staying with me, and so they're gonna feed the cat." I'm like, "Then why did you bother asking us to feed the cat?" So it wasn't like she texted us asking us to do it over text. She physically came over. I was like, okay. Very confusing. So, I mean, we'll see how long this one takes us to do. It might not take super long because we're not like filling this width. We're going this way. It's not as long as the last one. Like, same orientation as the last one, but we'll have to see. This one's got a lot more going on it, though. So, we'll have to definitely just kind of see what ends up happening with it. I know we started a little bit early tonight, but like I said, I wasn't feeling super great. So I kind of wanted to at least get a little bit of time in case this headache decided to become a full-blown migraine. I'm hoping not. I won't be surprised if it does, but I'm hoping not. Okay. Can't really see the very edge here anymore because it is buried under our forbidden cotton candy. Like, the bags do kind of look like colorful cotton candy hanging up in my room here. in the arty space. And my goodness, did cranky old man wear us down and get a second outing out of us today? We weren't going to, because neither one of us were feeling super great. We got his trip in this morning, and then right before we get ready to make dinner, it was starting to rain a little bit. We thought it was going to storm. It never did. It didn't even really rain. It just kind of sprinkled a little bit. And he just wouldn't stop sassing us. And he was being mad about eating his dinner because he didn't get to go beforehand. And goodness, I thought that was thunder for a second. It was a motorcycle. It just kind of started rumbling out of nowhere. I think it's in the parking lot across the street. Which is ironic because I didn't even hear it show up earlier. Maybe I was in the bathroom. I was not expecting to hear one leave. And again, do be gentle when you are trying to pull your project up because you can stretch your project out in the direction that you are pulling from, number one. And number two, you can go to pull a little too vigorously, and if it's starting to really cling to your mat, you might do a little bit of damage to your mat where you're like pulling at the fibers in there. And that could become problematic down the line. After it gets a little bit more wear and tear on it. Okay. So we're just kind of plodding along here. Working our way across. I am concerned the sky might look a little stripy as I'm going along here. With the two colors, but we're gonna see if I could try to blend it in a little. I'm not very confident in my ability to do so, but we'll see what I can attempt to make happen here. Maybe we can get something decent to work out for us. No, it was pretty muggy tonight. It wasn't like it was sticky and a bit muggy this morning. Well, maybe it was a little less this afternoon, because I remember when we came back this morning, just my skin just felt like it could not breathe whatsoever. It wasn't quite as bad the second time around, I guess. Not even sure what today's temperature really was. I know I checked it a couple of times, but it didn't really register long term. I was more or less just making sure it wasn't going to be too hot for the doggo feet. And that there wasn't lightning close by. Oh, and when we were on our way out to go to the working place the first time, we just stepped out on the porch and I caught sight of a dog walking on our side of the street. I was like, oh, everybody back in the house, back in the house. Husband's like, what? I'm like, dog, get back in the house. So we shoved our dogs in there because they were walking on the edge of the road. A, I didn't know if this dog was going to be aggressive, and B, I didn't know if our guys barking were going to freak it out and have it, like, duck into traffic. So we got everybody in the house, and the dog was sitting at the edge of the walkway up to our door when we stepped back outside. And they kind of rolled over on their back and were showing us their tummy. They were wagging their tail. They were very nervous. But we were able to see that it did have a collar on, and we're like, oh, thank goodness. And then we're like, okay, what is on your collar next? What mysteries will your collar speak to us about? And we had a name tag, and I'm like, okay, we know what to call you. Wonderful. And we were spinning the collar around carefully so they didn't get too freaked out, so we could try to hook one of our leashes onto them so they didn't dart into traffic, because traffic in front of our house can get pretty busy at times. And after a few more spins, we saw the tag that had a phone number on it. Please put your phone number on your pet's collars, so that way if they do get out, we can, or whoever finds them, can call you. Pretty please. That expedites the process so much faster, and make sure that you remember to update the phone number if you change it. There have been so many dogs that we have found on our property, walking by our property, that people have been like, hey, I found this dog, is it yours? And then we end up stuck with it, trying to find the owner on this massive mission that have no collar, have no tag, have no nothing. And then we're trying to start posting photos on different Facebook pages, and we're like, is this your dog? And then, since those are like closed groups or private groups, then they've got admins to those pages that have to approve the posts, and they have their own lives, and it's like, ugh, I cannot hold this dog indefinitely. But that was a good girl. She's so cute. Looked like maybe some kind of healer mix. And we got a hold of Mom right away, and Mom's like, I'm on my way. I was just about to head out looking for her. Or she had just headed out to look for her. She's like, she hasn't taken off on me in over a year. I don't know how she got out, but we know where she lives now, so we can take her home, like, right down the street from us. So if she gets out again, we know where to take her. Hi. It's not time yet. Yeah. I see you. You're gonna sass me now, huh? Yeah. You have another half hour before second snack rolls. It's not my fault you didn't want to eat your dinner because you were being a grumble pants. It's not my fault. I know you a cranky old man. I know it. You're gonna trip over my shoes in a second. Because you're too busy sassing me. And giving me an attitude. When you wouldn't eat your dinner and I had to hand feed you some extra goodies. That's not my fault. You could, like, I don't know, eat the leftover dry bits before you get your second snack roll. That's an option. Because there's still some leftover dry bits in that bowl. Your friend didn't eat it all. This dog. I've never had a dog sass me like this before. Now he's sassing the husband. He changed target locations. At least he's sassing the right one now. I can hear him grumbling. And I don't know if the husband can hear him or if he's just ignoring him.
I can hear him. I always hear him. You act like I don't hear him. No, I hear him.
Well, I never know because of your headphones. Wow, he's a sassy pants. And he'll just get louder and louder and louder. Doggo, you don't like apples. We've tried. You don't like anything healthy. You won't eat them. I've tried to give you a carrot before. The only thing you really ate ever was a tiny bit of cucumber, and you didn't even really eat it, you destroyed it. You were ripping tiny bits of it off, taking a couple chews on it, making a grossed out face, and then dropping it on the floor, and then going back for more and doing the same thing over and over and over. And I'm like, if you don't like it, then stop chewing on it. He used to love peanut butter in a Kong, and now he's like, no, I don't like that anymore. We would freeze it in the Kong to slow him down. Him and his brother loved it. It would keep them busy for like a good 15 minutes. And then something changed, and then they both didn't like it anymore. And I'm not sure why, because it was the same brand of peanut butter we always had, and it didn't have the weird, funny, not good sugar in it. Didn't have that xylitol stuff, or the birch sugar that they're not calling it. It's the same thing, apparently, from what people have said. Oh my goodness!
What is your...
Oh, headphones! Sorry about that. He got barky. I didn't know he was gonna put that much force behind it, or I would have muted it beforehand. He's been real sassy lately. So we're just gonna dab away. And work our way through the things. But we've got our first swath done here. And I am letting it drift on into that little buffer zone. Like I said earlier, after the experience with the one from several weeks ago, I would rather have to trim a little bit off than be like, oh no, I don't have quite enough to fill the thing in. That looks pretty filled in there. Right in here's a little thin though. I'm not sure if that's coming across on the camera. Probably not because I'm so zoomed out. Sometimes it shows. Sometimes. Okay. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more fluff on top of that piece. Now, I won't be done this today. That's for certain. This is not a one-session project. It's gonna take a few sessions. Most certainly. But I tend not to rush through. I mean, when we're doing the paintings, especially for doing the oil paintings, I try to get those done in one session. Because I don't want to have to keep that somewhere where nothing's going to happen to it. Until the next session. Especially with all the cats and stuff. No thanks. And when I do the gouache paintings, depending on what we're doing. If it's not like anything super abstracty, then like if we're following a Bob Ross gouache, those I can usually do in one session. It'll be like a 4-hour session, but I can usually get that done in one session. These guys, though, not really on a timer with paint drying. So I'm much more okay about taking my time and getting it just so. I mean, we're also not following a tutorial for this one. We're just kind of diving in. Diving in ones are always a little scary, but you know, that's how we're gonna get through things, right? It's not that easy to draw on the felt either, because it likes to shift around and it's fuzzy. So that's why I just used the pen. I was like, eh. I mean, it's not like I can erase it with a pencil. If the pencil even shows up on it. So we might as well just attempt to draw it out. First go with the pen to begin with. And I can make adjustments with it while I'm working on it, so not like it's the end all be all, I must follow this guideline. Nah, I have a rough idea of where things are gonna go. And that will have to do. Alright. So we're definitely gonna have to add some more of this. I'm trying to figure out where I want to start to add in the lighter blue. I think if we've got the water down here, we should have the lighter blue down in here. And maybe start mixing it around maybe this cloud area. If I still end up mixing it. I'm not fully decided on that. We will see. And if I don't like how it's blending, then I'll just do this dark blue all the way down. It's not really a dark blue, but it's darker than the other shade I grabbed. So let's see here. Alright, so I'm gonna work this piece in. I'm kind of trying to work my way back and forth across as I'm going here. Just to try to keep anything from getting real bunchy. But we'll see. Sometimes that works out better than others. And you know what? This tape, it doesn't hold great. So as you're stabbing in, your fibers are being like all shucked in together. And you're going to have your tape like start to buckle and bubble up and get loose. Just smooth it back down. If you do the tape. You don't have to do the tape. But if you do the tape. Because the tape's just there as a guideline. Its sole purpose is to be like, hey, do not pass this line. This is your end point. Okay. Alrighty, where does stabbing away with our fluff here. And just kind of working our way through. And periodically detaching that from the mat. So hope everybody's week's been going well. And that your summer season is off to, at the very least, an okay start. All right. Kind of trying to fill in and overlap a little bit in there. Just with that little bit of that tail guy there. Might as well. Yeah, so I'm at a total loss of what we might needle felt after this one. I don't know, I gotta figure some things out. That's why I was saying we might just dive in to starting to work on gifts, because they're gonna take me a little while, especially the ones I need to freehand. So I need to try to get the other piece that I am working on wrapped up. I'm about maybe 2/3 of the way through it. Maybe. These are finger protectors. Their name's a little deceiving. If you stab yourself, if you stab right through them directly on purpose, you will hurt yourself. Sometimes if your pressure is not too hard, it'll just kind of like be a glancing blow, but you can stab into these. I have done so. However, they do slow the needle down, so you don't end up with the needle completely through your finger, which you don't want. You don't want that, because it's going to be a very bad time. There's little notches. You can't really see it on camera, but there's little tiny notches, barbed things cut into the needle that help grab the little fiber thingies. So when you're stabbing down, it's grabbing the little fiber strands and shoving it through your base felt here, your base fabric. And then when you're pulling up, it's like pulling them all off. So if it does end up in your finger, and like this is not that, this is like maybe sewing needle thick, maybe, but it widens out. So that's like just the tip, and then it gets wider, and then it gets even wider, and then oh look, there's an L bracket on there. That's not gonna just push through your finger. So it's either gonna be a very bad time pulling that out, or you might end up at urgent care or something. So let's not stab thyself. I've done like, you know, a little tiny one, but it hasn't gone very far into my finger. Oh, thank you for the follow. And it's been like I pricked myself sewing. So I was lucky, but you don't want to risk it, so I do suggest them. I know not everybody uses them, but I'm clumsy and my hand-eye coordination is not great, so. Huh? I won 5 from the jump catch game. Okay. Well, that was just pure coincidence. Because, unless a body part hit part of my, keyboard. So what are you doing? Okay, so we are needle felting. We are stabbing fluff fiber with a needle. I'm using a size small, that's the only size it gave me, through a piece of craft felt into a needle felting mat as our padding so that we can go through the craft felt. There's got to be some kind of barrier for the needle to land into, or else it'll just hit the table and snap. But we're doing a flamingo, and when we're done the needle felted portion, going to cut it out, cut the excess off. We're going to mount it onto our little board here. I'm going to get a second, well, I guess a third hole drilled in across from this one. And then I'll hang my hanging string on the back. I'll put it into those holes to glue it into place. And then I've got these bamboo wood strips that we're going to build a frame out of, and then we're going to paint everything, and then we're going to put the little framey guy on there. Oh, that's going to be very close to the beak. Ooh. I ended up cutting some of that off. It's going to be like right on there. I might have to adjust you over, but we'll see. But that is the plan. But for right now, we are stabbing through our fluff and getting our base sky color put in. Traditionally, people use roving, wool roving, for needle felting. We're doing dry needle felting, by the way. Wet needle felting's a whole nother animal. But we're doing the dry version. I am using acrylic yarn instead of roving. It was a little bit better for my budget, which is pretty much non-existent. And B, there's a lot more color options available to me to go the acrylic yarn route. And I can find some decent sales on it from time to time, where I can get a decent amount of yarn for less than the cost of some of the roving sets. And I don't feel like getting white roving and dyeing it. No thanks. That's more than I'm willing to do. I don't have the energy for that. More power to those that do, but I just don't. No thanks. My limit is probably prepping the acrylic yarn. Like, I just can't with that. So how are you? Do you like to dabble in the crafting of things, or do you just like to watch other people do the things? Keep getting distracted by this bruise on my arm. Bean bit me yesterday. He was on top of the guinea pig cage, and I was trying to scoop him up and pull him out of there because I wasn't sure if he was getting into trouble or not while nobody was gonna be in there. And the way I was holding him, I was kind of holding him like this, and his body was kind of like leaning up against my arm, and he somehow managed to bunny feet my hand here. He didn't get me that bad this time, but then he reached over and he was like trying to bite me, and he bruised me. Rat. Black cat energy. He is full of chaos and shenanigans. And then earlier tonight, he was meowing at me and making clicky noises at me, and he jumped up and he laid down in front of me and was purring and wanted rubs, and then he's like, oh, stuff, and then started destroying my desk. I'm like, no, stop. I like to delve into crafts and giving anything again. Yeah, I've dabbled. I don't have a specific type of craft that I do. I like to paint. I haven't painted that much recently though. And I needed a break from painting for a bit. I like to rotate through some stuff. So I'll rotate through painting. And then I kind of picked up this for a while, so I kind of bounced back and forth between this and painting. And I do some tissue paper art from time to time, where I take gift wrap tissue paper, cut it up into like 1.5 inch squares, and then I twist it to make like a little paper snake, and then I will glue those onto a surface to create whatever I'm trying to create. This was This was the last tissue paper art one that we just did. Why is that? Oh, okay, that's just behind. I got really confused about my Kindle chat. And that's just a bunch of different colored tissue paper, tacky glued to a surface that was a stretched canvas. And then when everything's all on there, I do a layer of Mod Podge on top of it just to lock everything in place. Hi! Speaking of Chaos Gremlins, what's up? What's the matter? I feel like you're about to jump up here. You are about to jump up here. Alright, give me a second. Hi! Hi, that was, hi, can I help you? It's Mr. Bean. Hi, Mr. Bean. What's up? What's up? What can I do for you? You're standing on what we're working on, buddy. What's the matter? This gremlin is not quite a year old. Oh, hi. Thank you. What's the matter? You're just lonely today? Yeah? Are you gonna purr now? Okay. So we have a cat. A very determined cat. If his social hasn't been fulfilled, then he will jump right back up here. Oh, we're getting comfy. Hi. Hi. You and that tail of yours. I've also started to learn embroidery, which I'm having a good time with. I've done a few embroidery kits. No, I told you, that is the forbidden stick. You can't have that. That's the lighter. You can't have that. That's not your laser pointer. Oh, thank you. I have a gallery of stuff I've done on my Ko-fi page. That's probably the most, the largest place where it's all at. Or at least where 90% of it is. I'm sure there's some stuff that I forgot to post on there. But I'm starting to do embroidery. I've done a couple of kits. And I'm working on this. And this is one that I have freehanded. Sort of. I had to make the pattern myself. So I kind of used one of the Bob Ross painting tutorials finished product as the inspiration for that. I changed the colors up a little bit, but I'm slowly trying to work my way through that one. Hi, Bean. This is Mr. Stinky Beans. Hi, Mr. Stinky Beans. So we ended up fostering him. You got it. Dude, your feet are always filthy. We ended up fostering him late July, early August of last year. He was like the size of my hand. Thank you. Let's not. And, sir, your tail. What am I gonna do with you? He had been grazed by a car, and he had some road rash on his leggies, and, they weren't really sure where he came from. He was just a loose kitten somewhere, so we agreed to foster him. And the same day we brought him, was it the same day we brought him home? I think the same day we brought him to our house, they called and they said, oh, somebody's interested in straight up adopting him. We're like, oh, okay. And then they called us back 3 hours later saying that they changed their mind or something happened and no, they can't take him after all. We're like, okay. And then another adopter had been lined up, and they were going to pick him up from the spay-neuter clinic that September because he was going to be old enough to do it then. and we were working with we were fostering for the local shelter in our town. So they're like, you guys hold on to him until spay neuter clinic day, and then drop him off at the appointed time, and we'll take him from there because they're supposed to pick him up that day. We're like, okay, we said our goodbyes and all, and it was a sad day, and we dropped him off. And maybe a week later, I saw a post on Facebook from the shelter kind of bitching out the people that were supposed to pick him up because they ghosted them. They ghosted the people that ran the shelter. They never showed up to pick him up from the clinic. They didn't respond to any texts or calls or anything. And so the pound people were really upset because they're like, what the heck? And I saw the post, so we contacted them. We're like, you should have told us. We would have come back and gotten him. And they're like, well, we're going to try to put him through this one other partner shelter with ours. They've got like an adoption area up at the one pet place, the one pet supply store. And we're going to try putting him up there. Well, it's a small little section of the store, and some of their cats they let stay out of their cages during the day. Do not chew that. That's not going to end well for you. No emergency vet bills, please. Not that. No. That's a spring, guy. Don't chew that. That's my thumb. And, we had to cage him a couple of times to give our other cats a break when he was getting to be a lot. And it wasn't even for very long. It was like a half an hour timeout here or there. And he just went crazy, screaming his head off in there. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna hate it being in those cages. And this guy likes to nibble on us, nibble our noses, nibble all over us. And the husband's like, every cat I've ever had that I kept always nibbled on me. And I felt so bad that 2 different adoptions, possibly a third that I didn't know about, had fallen through on him. He's a black cat. It was coming into Halloween. I'm like, I don't have a good feeling about this. I was like, and then the husband's like, fine. So we ended up telling the shelter, you know what, we'll just take him. But we can't foster anymore because now we're full, because he was filling up our open slot. So he was a foster fail, but at least he's kind of learning to cat. He's got a bit of an attitude, as we can see with the tail. He's always flipping that tail whenever I'm talking to him. Can I continue what I'm doing now, sir? Oh, Mr. Bean. Thanks, guy. At least it was just water, and I can't reach anything to wipe it up with, so it's gotta sit there for a minute. No bunny feet. No bunny feet. That hurts. You don't have to flip your tail. No. This isn't the Mr. Bean show, by the way. I'm trying to do things here. Is this interpretive tail dancing? Is that what this is? Do you think I can get back to doing what I'm doing? Huh? Can I get back to work now? You're not gonna leave willingly, are you? You're gonna make me physically move you. Where's Mr. Man, huh? Mr. Man has vanished. I don't know where he went. It's a good thing you're cute. You know that? I would like to get back to work. Could we? Could we get back to work? Hi. Must you continue to whap me with your tail? I have to hold the dish of my needle felting tools because you're about to shove them off the desk. Yes, you are. Thank you for that. Because your tail has now dipped into the water that you spilled. So now I've got wet cattail slapping me. You certainly are a creature of chaos. He's got like a couple white hairs on him too. It's hilarious. Like every so often you'll see a periodic white hair, and then on his chest he's got like 4 or 5 clustered together. And that's it. The rest of them's black. Hi. What, do I have to put my foot here? Don't claw me. Or my hand here. At least you're not attacking my feet, I guess. Can we get back to art now? Mr. Bean? This is not a place to nap right now, okay? No, come on. Hey. No, don't. No, 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 no. Come on. Hey. No. No bites. Come on. Sir! Let go. Come on. Meow. What is the matter with you? Come on. Why are you being mad? Don't be mad, boy. What is the matter? He's mad because I made him move. What is the matter? Huh? Where did Mr. Man go? Hmm? Look what you did to my hand. I have teethy indents now. Hmm? Oh my goodness. There, fine. Well, you're the one that came up here causing troubles. Here, go ahead. No, now you don't want to get down. I will be right back, you guys. I can't hit the be right back thing on my screen though, so I'll be right back. Yeah, critters. Goodness, we're so itsy. Alright. Sorry about that. I took him to the husband. Clean up the water that he spilled. At least it's just water, right? It's just water. It's just craft felt. No damage done. Just vexing. Okay. So anyway, before we were interrupted. So yeah, now I'm learning to embroider. So I've got those couple of things that I am rotating between. He might end up back in a minute when the husband comes out. Husband was in the shower, so I threw him in the bathroom with the husband. I'm like, here, do something with him. Brat put teeth marks in me when I was trying to slide him off the desk. He did not want to get slid off. I don't know if he thought he was being taken to bed for the night or what, but he's still too much of a chaos youngster to run loose through the house at night. Because he is adamant about eating everything, chewing everything, destroying everything on my desk. I actually have a box of stuff from when we were away that was of things off my desk. My mom was looking for help with a word on her thing. She was trying to shove it in my face as I was walking.
Did someone catch the bean moment?
They did.
Yay!
And then I think the bean moment wasn't ending fast enough. And fair enough, I was trying to get him to leave on his own, and then he started sassing me when I was making him leave. So, where is he now? And because we have a sharp pointy stick here, I did not want him to just be up here while I tried to work around him. He's a very big cat. He's not quite a year old. We're not exactly sure when he was born, but like I said, he was about this big when he was brought into the shelter, pound, and it seemed like maybe he was just in the process of being weaned. He did have some teepees, but he's certainly grown since then. I don't know, we're thinking maybe he was born the end of June, early July. Maybe. So he might be just about a year old, but he's still got that young kitten energy. So at night, he either will spend the night with him in the mother-in-law's room while she's not here, or we'll put something on the TV for him in there. He kind of needs that time to de-stimulate, because sometimes he just gets so wound up that, and so deadlocked on messing with the other cats, that we have to give him a timeout from time to time. Where did you go?
I went and dealt with the work thing.
Oh. Yeah, she was like trying to put her tablet in my face, and I'm like, I can't, you're gonna have to wait for him. I'm in the middle of something. I didn't want to walk away when I did, but
Sorry. You know,
Mr. Bean Burrito decided that he was gonna cause chaos. He's got about 50 different nicknames. Green bean, string bean, stinky beans, chaos bean, Mr. Beans, bean bean, bean burrito. And he certainly has opinions about all of the things. Did Mr. Sassy Grumbles eat second snack roll?
yes.
Okay.
At least it looks like it.
When I turned around with Bean in my arms, he was laying there licking Snuffles' back.
Yeah.
Now where are you going? Nobody knows. That kind of looks like it needs a smaller bit there. Right there. Looks a little thin. Right in there. And we'll get that one filled in. Like, I don't know if it was going to be too big of a deal, but I don't think I've got a cloud shape going in there, so I've got cloud shape here, and I've got cloud shape down here somewhere, but that didn't look like a spot where I'm really going to be able to work that in there. Hello, how are you? We're doing okay. It's a chaos day. Because Mr. Bean is being Mr. Bean. We just had a Mr. Bean break a few minutes ago. For several minutes, because he decided to take over the desk. And I was running out of hands, so I do not know where he currently is. I had to drop him off into the bathroom while the husband was finishing up his shower. I'm like, here, entertain him for a minute. He's stretched out in the middle of our art project, which is why we can't oil paint right now. Because there's no way. I'm not gonna risk trying to oil paint with Mr. Bean around. Because we don't have a door that I can really close off where I'm at right now from the critters. And I can totally see a scenario where Mr. Bean jumps up in the middle of the oil paint palette or knocks over the bucket of paint thinner trying to get up here, and I can't with that, so that's okay. That's just fine. Where did you go?
I got at work.
Oh, I thought she knew you got her word before she went out.
No, she was out when I got it.
So hopefully you are having a good day. Sorry, there was something touching me and I couldn't figure out what it was. I didn't know if it was a piece of fuzz or a piece of my hair, and I'm like looking at my arm. I could feel it moving in the fan, but I couldn't see what it was. I think I need to tighten my glasses again. Oh, that's you. I thought the cat was getting into something. He really wants to chew on this lighter, and I cannot figure out why.
It's just small and plastic. He is a little chewy bastard.
He is. I've never had a cat that has wanted to chew on everything like that before. Dog, sure. Cat, no. It's weird. You're great. Well, that's good. Good to hear. I'm hoping tomorrow's not a migraine day so we can get Planet Zoo in. We'll see how tomorrow goes. Actually, what's the weather for tomorrow? Hold on a second. I mean, the local forecast hasn't been all that great. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers for the afternoon. Thunder possible, chance of rain 40%. Well, tomorrow night's supposed to be clear. Oh, it's gonna be, oh no. Saturday, cloudy with occasional showers, thunder possible. Chance of rain 50%. Saturday night, cloudy with occasional rain showers, thunder possible. It's gonna be one of those days. Sunday, rain. Thunderstorms possible, mainly in the afternoon. Chance of rain 80%. It's gonna be a long weekend. It's gonna be a very long weekend. What's tomorrow? So PM showers. Okay. Oh, it's gonna rain on Monday. Supposedly. That's alright. We were just gonna get takeout on Monday for our anniversary. We were originally thinking about eating at one of the parks, but it was gonna be too hot for that normally. And now it's supposed to rain, so that's not really gonna work. That's alright. We'll just eat it at home. That's fine.
You were saying you weren't sure if we were going to be doing that anyhow.
What?
Eating at the park.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but now we're definitely not. Unless we're eating in the car. And I think I'd rather eat at a table so I don't spill anything. And that's if we still have the money to do that. Although I don't think it'll be that much. If it's... Depends on if we're feeding my mom or not. I think I want Panda. It's been a while since we've had... Well, since I've had Panda. You don't like Panda? I mean, I'd much rather have China Sea from back home, but that's not an option, so... I miss that place so much. I couldn't tell if it was a bad sign that... Or definitely a sign that we ordered too much from a place when the people that took the phone orders um kind of knew already what we were gonna order because we ordered the same thing all the time. And then they were actually sad when we moved and we came back for a visit and they're like, "Aren't you?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh." They were like so happy to see us. The two places that we ordered from were like that. The pizza place, at least the delivery driver that we got all the time. I think we went in there to pick it up to take it back to our hotel when we were up there to visit at one point. Had recognized us. Okay, get that off of there. So yeah, we had didn't even really rain earlier. I think I would have felt better if it had. It kind of like fizzled out as it got over top of us. Okay. So either Twitch is cracking down on these bots, finally, or they've actually been leaving me alone for the past couple of days. Because I haven't had to report anybody in a couple of days. Which is kind of astounding. But we're just working on our new project here. We're gonna try to needle felt a flamingo in here. I actually had the thought, and it's kind of a crazy thought. Okay, it is me. But I had the thought briefly of, what if I tried to bump this up off of the felt by putting some polyfill down and then coloring it? But that will definitely add more time to the project. And I'm not sure if I want to experiment with that on this one, because this is, my frame is going to be very close to my beaky guy here. So I'd either have to adjust everybody that way or come in this way and adjust out this way if I end up doing that. And I'm not quite sure how it's going to look. I might do that experiment later off stream just to kind of see how that might go. I had originally planned to try to get some Bookshop Simulator recorded this weekend for the channel, for the YouTube channel. However, if it's gonna be gross skies all weekend, that might throw a wrench into that planning. Because if it's real stormy, Mr. Doggo is gonna get real mad and upset, and then I'm not gonna be able to get anything done because I'm gonna have to be sitting on him to keep him from climbing furniture that he's not supposed to be climbing. And I don't mean like, oh, he can't get on the bed. No, he's not on the bed. He gets so upset, he tries to get as high as he can to the ceiling, which is bizarre, but that's how he rolls. So, he'll like be trying to climb on tables and like my stacks of art drawers that weren't meant to be climbed on, and doesn't matter if there's stuff sitting there or not. He's like knocking everything off of there in his panic to get up there. So when he starts to get like that, it takes both of us to kind of sit on top of him in an attempt to keep him from hurting himself and trying to calm him down. A couple of times I've just had to walk around carrying him, which isn't easy because he's about 18, 20 pounds, somewhere in there. We haven't weighed him recently. It's not easy, and he wasn't always like this. He handled storms pretty good until his brother passed away. Like, he was starting to get a little nervous about them when my mom moved in. So I don't know if he's picking up her energy. But half the time she doesn't even know it's storming now, so she'll be like heading outside for a smoke, and I'm like, it's thundering. She goes, it is? I'm like, yeah. It's lightning. What are you doing? I was like, that porch overhang is not really going to protect you. So, did you leave him in the bathroom, or did he ever come out?
The door's open. He just hasn't come out himself. Last I saw.
Oh god, did he get in the tub?
At one point, yes.
Oh, he's gonna be all kinds of wet. I cannot believe the attitude he was giving me when I was trying to pry him off of the desk. And I'd like to know where he learned this biting to get his way thing. I guess he was bored and wanted attention? I don't know. That's the bruise from what he did to me yesterday. It's gotten darker. That cat has definitely got chaotic energy. Yes, I don't know. I'd had the brief thought, and then I kind of forgot about it when I was drawing him out, so I would have to slide it over just a smidgen. So I'm not sure how much that's going to involve. Don't know. I mean, I could maybe try it a little bit. Maybe we could experiment on the clouds slightly and see how that goes. Just to give them a little bit of definition. I'm just going to fill in this little bit where some of the pen was kind of showing through there. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Okay. Just a little bit of water. Like a drop. Not even. Like, I put a drop on there and then flicked it off, so that was just whatever was left. Alright. We'll get that popped into there. And then we'll get this guy. So I know I'm covering up where I drew those clouds in. Like I said, I'm gonna come back and add them in. On top, I was just kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this guy, because I didn't do any pre-sketches or anything of the like. We're just kind of going for it. Pretty much. And we're not quite down far enough yet. So I'm gonna have, in theory, I'm gonna have the lighter blues here, closer to the horizon. So darker blues up here. I might start mixing them just above this line, maybe a little bit higher. We'll have to see. Okay. Get all of this. I don't want to lose the edge of the Mingo there. Not after all the work we did to put them in there. Like that would not be cool. All right. We're gonna slowly start chiseling, not really chiseling, but filling in, I guess, around our Mingo friend here. And like kind of working out his shape here. So I might trim a little bit of this maybe as we try to get in around our beaky boo. All right. Such a weird sensation. I don't know if, like, I've got my computer tower to the left of me. It's sitting on the table. And it's a very sturdy table, so we don't have to worry about that tipping. But I wanted it up off the floor because Mr. Bean kept messing with it, and it was getting really hard to get down there and correct what he was doing with it when we couldn't access it very well. So we moved it up off the floor for easier access, and I've got my fan that's kind of sitting between me and the tower, and I don't know if the fan is sucking in the hot air coming off the computer or what, but every so often, like, I'm getting the cool air from the fan, and then it's like, oh, here's some hot air in your face, and I'm like, what is happening? It's funny because it doesn't even sound like my fans are chugging that hard right now. Let's see if I can get that popped up to there. So again, I'm just kind of slowly working in our sky color here. And I'm kind of coming to that edge at an angle. As you can see with the needle, I'm just kind of trying to nudge it, that little edge there. So you're typically supposed to go straight up and down. But if you do go after it at the slight angle, if it's not quite in the spot that you want it to be in, you can kind of just nudge it a little bit to where you want it to be. Oh, I should ask my mom if my brother knew those two cops from Atlantic City. I think he knew a couple people on their police force. There was a couple of them that got hurt while trying to serve a search warrant the other day. It was on the news from up there. And back home. Okay. Very careful, very careful. Nudge that up. So I don't want to stab me. I've been there, I've done that. I've bought the shirt multiple times. Got stains on the shirt and had to get a replacement. I don't need another one. Oh, speaking of, I have a t-shirt that's falling apart, right? There's like holes all over it. When the holes first started showing up, um, it was an expensive t-shirt. It was one of the more expensive t-shirts that I've ever gotten. But it changed colors in the sun, so I was like, cool. I love this shirt. And then Cow, the cat, put a hole in it with his nails because he wouldn't unvelcro for me when I was trying to put him down. He doubled down as dug his nails into my shoulder through the shirt, and I'm like, no. Finally got him detached, and there were holes in it. So I had the husband help me try to fix it. And that worked, but then holes started showing up in other places as time was going on. And now there's just so many holes in it that I can't really wear it out in public anymore. 'Cause there's like just holes everywhere. Kind of makes me mad because it was an expensive t-shirt. And when did we get that? I think we got that in 2019, 2018, 2019. Somewhere around in there. So mad. It was like over a $30 t-shirt. I think it was closer to 50. And it's definitely reached the point now that it's not going to survive much longer. So I need to put it over my chair that I am currently sitting in an attempt to protect what is left of my desk chair. This chair is not that old either. This chair is like 2024, 2023, maybe 2024. And the cats, man. They have had their way with our chairs. All kinds of stuff that they could scratch in this house. Nope, we're gonna pick your chairs that were expensive. I mean, they weren't super expensive, but they were expensive for us. They were at the top end of the budget that we were willing to spend on them. And that was mostly because they were on sale. But I have to be very particular about the chairs that I sit in, because some chairs just hurt to sit in from a tailbone. And my other chair, something broke inside of it, so we had to replace it because it was just agony sitting in it. And now they're like shredding it. There's all these strings hanging off. That's what I need to do this weekend. I need to trim all the little hangy strings. And I need to put this shirt over it. Because, I mean, if they're going to claw the shirt, it's already got holes in it. So there's no huge loss there, but I'm hoping maybe it will deter them and they won't like the feel of clawing through the t-shirt as much. Bean also seems to think he's a mountain goat or a mountain climber with this chair, and he will launch himself off the floor onto the side of my chair and dig his nails in and climb up the side of my chair to get to the top of it to sit on the headrest. And I'm like, was that necessary? The back of this chair is not that tall. You could have very easily just hopped in the seat and then hopped on the back of it. But no. That apparently was not an option. At all. I suppose it was more about the game of scaling it from the side or the back. He's done that a few times too. There's two little cutouts on either side of like the neck head area. And when he was much smaller, he could fit through those areas. So he would climb up and then pull his whole body through those slots. He can't do that anymore. Or he has gotten way too big. I don't even think his head will fit in there now. But he would try to get me through those slots in the chair, and I'm like, dude, stop. That's probably pretty good there. So I am coming into my buffer zone on this side a little bit more than I had intended originally, but that's because we might be trying that polyfill thing. Like, I'm willing to try it with the clouds just to see what it might look like. And to do that, I need to kind of bump my edge here over a little bit, because if I go off of this line, then I'm going to be too close and kind of on the edge of our beak here. Meow. Hi, you're back. You're not going to let me get anything done tonight, are you? Let me put the pointy thing away, so that way nobody gets hurt. Okay, pointy thing's away. Come on. What, do I need to move that? Hi. Meow. Meow. Well, come on. Now that I'm letting you do it, and I'm ready for you, you're not going to do it?
Of course not. It's all about paying attention to it.
Come on.
You're giving him the attention now.
Come on. Are you coming? Come on. Meow. Come on. Up, up. Up, up. There you go. Hi. Hi, Bean Bill. What's up? What can I do for you? That's my finger protector. Please don't put teeth holes in that. Hi. What's the matter? Oh, jeez. Okay. I have a dish under the shelf that's right here that has needle felting stuff in it. He flopped down oh so not gracefully and almost shoved it off the table. Hi. What's up? What do you need? Oh, did you not get that?
No, I don't think I took my bill.
See, I don't think you were in here.
Yeah.
Hi. Boop. Oh, kitty kisses. Why, thank you. Well, let's clean your face. What's up? Is it Beanie Boo hour? He's a big boy. It's Beanie Boo night here, huh? Oh, you leaving? Okay, bye. Alright then. Oh, Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean decided I'm not being fun enough and decided to go get on Mr. Man's desk now.
Except Mr. Man doesn't get cuddles. Although P-Bub's here, so that was kind of...
What's the wrong, Mr. Bean? Are you wanting to go to bed? It's kind of early for you to go to bed, Mr. Bean.
He's tired.
Yeah, but if we put him in now, he's going to be cranky when we go to bed.
Where is he?
I don't know. He left your desk and I haven't seen him.
Don't start.
He, fucked off to somewhere. We're gonna need to find that boy a new box. We might have to get 2 boxes because Littles has been laying on the box, the brand new box of puppy pads that we just bought. And she has, like, taken up residency on this box. And I'm like, ma'am, we're gonna have to open that soon and you're not gonna be able to lay on it anymore. Because when we start pulling stuff out of there, it's not gonna hold your weight. You're gonna fall into the box. She is a chunky girl. And she doesn't really like to be held either. Okay, let's see. I have to slowly work this guy in here. There he is. Snuffles just tried to end him. He just got on the bed. Snuffles! He got in the window. Leave him be. He's looking outside. He's looking for the possum. Or for the outside kitty. He's real fascinated in the outside kitty. And he's been fixed, so... We don't know if outside kitty's been fixed, but due to the fact that she hasn't brought us a bunch of kittens, I'm assuming she is. Because with all the male cats that have been around, and we've seen attempts to procreate with her and nothing has happened, she probably is fixed.
I also haven't seen any evidence of her having going in heat.
Yeah.
So
Alrighty. So we're gonna get this one worked into here. And we might end up stopping early tonight, because like I said, I am fighting that headache. And the stabbing is kind of jarring. And with Mr. Beaning. Oh, somebody found a ball.
wonder who.
I think there's only one spring around after the pack of 60 that we had. I have no idea where they've all gone.
Did we go through all those?
Yes!
Oh.
They are gone. I think I saw one in your mom's room, and there was one floating around out here. But that was it. The rest, I can't find them. And they couldn't be under our bed, because our bed sits on the floor. Like, we don't have it on a frame. Like, the box spring is on the floor. And even that's a little tall for the old man to jump up on. So we have to have an ottoman that he can use as the in-between bit there. Okay, so yeah, I'm working on getting that in. So if I bump this over to that line. Okay, that gives me a little bit more clearance. All right. Okay, so I think if we work off of that line, that... Maybe that was... Yeah, so that means I'm going to have to slide everybody over. By, like, the width of one of these. So that means that you... at the very least be here, so I'm gonna have to like adjust you over slightly. Alright, so if this guy's edge is like to here, is it even possible to do that with the body? So that means that this might end up being the new. If I shorten you in a little bit, which I can work out. Uh-oh. Which I can work out when I go to shape the thing. Oh boy, that's just funny city under there. Dropped the lid to my pen. I didn't want Bean getting it. Oh, come on now. That lid does not want to stay on. So, yeah, I just have to, like, maybe shorten that a little bit. And I should be able to do that without too much trouble. But, yeah, I think that'll be the plan. I just kind of have to fill this in a bit more up in here, where it still feels a little thin. And start, you know, coming in around the edge of the body there, the beak, and then when I get into over here, I'm just gonna have to, like, kind of reshape that whole thing. But that is not a matter for tonight. So I hope everybody has a good Friday tomorrow. Like I said, I'm hoping we'll get Planet Zoo in tomorrow. Weather and migraine definitely permitting tomorrow. We will see how that goes. I was gonna do both of these blues, but I don't know. I'm thinking maybe that might be too much. Because they are kind of different. It's not like it's just a lighter version of this. They do have, this one feels more gray. So I'll probably just stick with the one shade of blue and not go too crazy. But we've started, so we have to start somewhere. So we are on our way there on this guy. So I hope to see everybody tomorrow. Make sure you're following on Blue Sky in case I have to cancel. I will post there if that ends up happening. And I think I need to go give Mr. Bean some attention before he explodes and do a bunch of floof. So don't forget to follow the other socially links down below. They will also take you to the Ko-fi page and the YouTube channel. And I will see everybody, hopefully, tomorrow. So until then, you guys, have a good one.